All right, welcome to the Builder Standard. This is going to be a formal lecture on structure, control, and building a construction business that actually works. This lecture is not about growth, it's about control. Most builders believe their problems come from external forces, the market, labor shortages, material pricing, competition, difficult clients, or economic cycles. While these pressures do exist, they are not the root cause of instability in most construction businesses. The root cause is almost always internal, specifically a lack of standards, structure, and systems. And I should note, these exact standard structure and systems have built, created, and maintained my current luxury construction business. This lecture examines why most construction businesses remain chaotic despite years of experience, and how professional builders create calm, predictable, and profitable operations through standards rather than effort. So for a brief overview, this lecture will examine why most builders feel busy but remain financially constrained, however, became confused with professionalism in construction, the structural reasons builders lose control of projects and margins, why planning, not construction, is a true business model, how standards reduce chaos, conflict, and burnout, why pricing problems are usually process problems, and how professional builders become self-correcting operators, and lastly, what it actually means to run a construction company, not just work in one. So this lecture is not designed to excite you, it is designed to remove confusion. Really looking forward to it, guys. Grab yourself a drink, make some coffee or some tea. Take notes if needed. We are going to be reviewing with some actionable key takeaways at the end of this lecture as well. So the illusion of hard work in construction. The construction industry celebrates effort. Long days are praised, late nights are normalized, firefighting is seen as competence. This culture creates a dangerous illusion that working harder equals operating professionally. In reality, excess effort is usually evidence of missing structure. Professional businesses are not loud. They're predictable. When a business depends on heroic effort to function, it is fragile. When the owner slows down, everything breaks. Effort can temporarily compensate for poor systems. It cannot replace them. So why builders feel busy but ineffective? Most builders are busy all day. They answer calls, respond to texts, manage trades, solve problems, and put out fires. Yet at the end of the month, they often feel behind, financially, emotionally, and operationally. This happens because activity is not progress. I'm going to repeat that. This happens because activity is not progress. Without structure, time is consumed reactively, decisions are made under pressure, problems repeat themselves, and margins quietly erode. A builder without standards spends energy managing chaos rather than directing outcomes. The real reason builders lose control. Builders rarely lose control suddenly. They lose it incrementally. It begins with rushed estimates, vague scopes, deferred decisions, incomplete drawings, and the famous "we'll figure it out on site" thinking. Each compromise feels minor. Combined, they create instability. When scope is unclear, pricing becomes emotional. When pricing is emotional, margins shrink. When margins shrink, stress increases. And when stress increases, judgment deteriorates. This cycle repeats until burnout occurs. So the standards as a control mechanism. A standard is a pre-decided rule that governs behavior and removes negotiation. Standards determine how projects are priced, what information is required before construction, how clients are onboarded, how changes are handled, how communication occurs, and what behavior is acceptable. Without these standards, every project becomes a custom experiment. With standards, projects become repeatable systems. Repeatability is what creates scalability, margin, and calm. Why planning is the real business. Essentially, planning is your business model. Most builders believe they are in the construction business. In reality, professional builders are in the planning business. Construction is execution. Planning is decision making. When planning is weak, construction becomes problem solving. Trades are uncoordinated. Costs escalate and timelines slip. Real-time decision making is the most expensive way to build. A structured planning phase forces early decisions, aligns scope, design, and budget, protects margin, reduces changes, creates predictable execution. Planning is not overhead. Planning is the product. The myth of flexible planning. We've seen this for years and years and years. Many builders believe flexibility helps them win jobs. In practice, flexibility invites instability. When pricing is negotiable, scope becomes fluid, expectations become unclear, clients assume control, builders defend invoices. Professional builders do not negotiate their process, they enforce it. Clarity creates trust, and certainty attracts better clients. So how structure protects your margin? Margin loss rarely comes from one large mistake. It comes from small leaks, rework, idle labor, scope creep, trade inefficiencies, and poor sequencing. Structure prevents these losses by reducing uncertainty. Builders who rely on effort protect margin by working more hours. Builders who rely on structure protect margin by eliminating waste. Margin is operational, not emotional. So we're going to talk about how standards shape client behavior. Clients respond to clarity. When a builder operates with strong standards, clients make decisions earlier, communication improves, conflict decreases, and respect increases. Low standards attract high maintenance clients. High standards repel chaos. Clients do not want endless flexibility. They want certainty, even when that certainty includes boundaries. Next, burnout as a system failure. Burnout is not a personal weakness. It is a structural failure. Burnout occurs when builders explain everything repeatedly, justify every invoice, chase trades, manage emotions instead of systems, react instead of plan. Energy is finite. Systems preserve energy. A business without systems consumes the owner. I'm going to stop here for a second because we've all heard that hilarious statement that builders always joke about, that they're often a therapist or a counselor on site. I'm a full-time counselor. That should never be the case. The self-correcting builder. Professional builders do not aim for perfection. They aim for correction. When issues occur, they do not blame clients, trades, or the market. They analyze a system that allows the issue to happen. Each mistake becomes feedback. Each project improves the next. This is how standards evolve. On to the lecture review. We have established that effort does not equal professionalism. Chaos is a symptom of low standards. Planning determines outcomes. Structure protects margin. Standards reduce conflict. And burnout is a systems issue. Builders do not fail because construction is hard. They fail because they build businesses without structure. Now to end with a couple actionable takeaways. To raise your operating standard, 1, separate planning from construction. 2, define scope before pricing. 3, standardize how projects are sold. 4, enforce boundaries consistently. 5, build systems before scaling volume. 6, raise standards before chasing growth. More leads will not fix chaos. More effort will not fix chaos. Standards will. And there are many, many more actionable takeaways that we teach inside of our community. One extra bonus one that I'll mention today is do not start a project without all of your trades scheduled. You should have a pre-manufactured schedule before starting. And yes, it might seem overwhelming to do that, but there is actually a very simple way to create a fixed schedule way ahead of time. So in final closing, construction does not have to feel chaotic, but chaos is guaranteed without structure. The builder's standard is not about hustle, it is about control. Structure first, margin stabilizes, clients improve, calm becomes normal. This is what it means to operate as a professional builder.